Hello everyone and welcome to zinteractive. I'm Zishan Shah and I'm back here with a special tutorial on the new features that Substance Painter 2021 has introduced. Pretty exciting new features which I really liked and I really want to share with you, and this will be the part of my Substance Painter, basically the tutorial which I did recently, all the whole course, which was the essential training of Substance Painter. So these new features, they are really worth of showing you guys what are they and how to work on them. So without further ado, let's start with it. So the first feature I'm going to show you here is masking by geometry. So to show you that, I will first of all, let me go to my Maya here, and here I have this windmill model, and you can see that it's quite not high polygons, basically like not high not low, it's like middle level here. And you can see that the material that I have applied over here is the standard Lambert on the whole model, and you can see that these this model is basically divided with different meshes over here. So you can see on the side there are different meshes and they are combined together, not as a one mesh, but they are separately making a complete windmill over here. And if you want to see how the UVs are, so let me go to the UV editor, and here you can see basically they are divided into different islands. It's like mainly you can say UDIMS, and they are just divided over here in different tiles. So basically a new UDIM facility and feature was also introduced before the 2021 was released. The latest version of 2020 update, the UDIMS was also was introduced. So we will cover that part also. So let's open up the Substance Painter over here, and you can see the new splash screen over here. Pretty cool. And you can see here it's Adobe 2021. And now what we are going to do here is that, let me close this. I'll go to the file, new, and here everything is what I needed. Just a little bit increase the document resolution here, go to file, and here I will select my windmill object. I will open it up and I will make sure this new feature, which is basically the UV tile settings UDIMS, is being checked. And what I will choose over here is preserve UV tile layout per material and enable painting across tiles. So it will not paint as single tiles. If you want that, you can convert tiles into individual texture sets, but I don't want that. I want to paint across all the tiles, just like it will count it as a single object, but still UDIMS will be over there. So I will keep this one checked here, like I will select this part here. Rest everything you can see what I have chosen, and I will just press OK over here, and then this is open. There are some errors, but for now we'll skip that because I have just quickly downloaded this from the internet, from uh, the free 3D website. So basically I didn't got time to fix this all, but it will still work and we will still learn how we can work with the new features over here. So the first feature I'm going to show over here is the mask by geometry. So now what we are going to do here is that I will, if you will see my screen, it's just like I have uh, dragged this property paint from here to here. So this is the way I like to work. So that's why I rearranged things here. I have put the shader settings here, texture list and texture set settings on the top. So this is how I like to keep my interface. This is not the default, but this is how I usually keep. Now I will go to bake mesh maps. I don't want to bake normal or thickness here, so I will uncheck these two. You can keep it, but I usually don't do that, so I will keep it as it is. In the IDA, I will first make sure it is material color, and I will keep it as it is material color. Now, as I have different selections here, if you will go now, this is something new, and you will see that you have all these different the tiles over here, and they all are selected. So basically, if I will press bake selected textures, it will bake all of them as one part. So I'll just click here, and it will start doing its baking. And as soon it is baked, we are free to work on here. It's done. I will press OK. Now I have the whole thing here. Now, what I want to show you here, the first thing is that if you will notice, there is this dotted box here. Now, this is a masking option. If I click on this masking option, this is something new that had been introduced and included in 2021. And if I click over here, you will get the properties in your property panel here, which I dragged it here. Otherwise, you might see it wherever it is on your interface, but as I have dragged it here, so you can see it here. Now I have here different mask types. I have mask type UV tiles, and I have mask type mesh names. So if I want to mask it with the geometry, I will go to mesh names, and you can see that I have all the meshes that are here. And as I'm going over, like hovering over them, they're turning blue on the screen. So which will actually tell you which mesh is what on the screen. And I can simply do that here as well. I can select them from the viewport also. To select them, you just have to click it and it will hide it from here. That means if I will drop any of the material from here, it won't be applied here. So let's do that in practical, but I will keep it everything as it is right now. Now I'm not working on this layer, so I will ignore this. I will start working on the new layers. So what I will do here is that I will just go to my, I will just press here all, type here wood, so I can get something related to the wood over here. Now what I want is that this part of the windmill, this part and this part, they are different meshes. As you can see, when I hover over them, you can see them, they are not the same, they are different. So I want this one to be different wood, different wood, different wood. So what I will do here is that I will just take the wood grain, something from here, apply it. But as soon as I will apply and drag and drop it there, it will be applied on whole mesh, because it's it have a single you can say material ID. Like if I will go back to my Maya here, you can see that if I will select all the whole thing and go to my hypershade window, so you can see the one which is applied over here is the Lambert one on the whole thing. So it is counting it, Substance Painter is counting it as a one whole object. But what if I want this wooden walnut only on the base? So what I will do here is that I will just click on this new masking option, click over here, go to my mesh names and see where is this. Okay, so basically if I roll over here, so this is the pillar bottom. So now what I need to do is that I can uncheck all of them. So you can see all of them are excluded. So the new wood walnut that I have dragged and dropped it here, it will be only applied on the pillar bottom. So this is one way of doing this. Another way, easier way to do that, because suppose if you have a lot of meshes, so you have to deselect all of them, which will take little time. So suppose I just want to click here. I just want this one to be selected. So I have to press Alt on my keyboard, click on the pillar button. So automatically what it will do is that it will exclude all of them and it will keep this one selected. There are some other options here. If I will click on this button, you can see I have here include all, exclude all, invert. If I will press invert, so what it will do is that it will invert my selection. So whatever I wanted is now not selected, but the others are selected. But this is not I want the pillar button. So I will just go back here, invert it again. So it will invert the whole thing. Similarly, you can include all of them or exclude all of them, or just simple the way you want to do that. So you have like different choices. Now I'm in the masking mode right now. So that means it will keep on showing me this kind of a window. So as soon as I will click here on my folder or on this icon, so I will exit this mask by geometry mode. So you can see that it is only applied on the base, on the bottom level. Now what I can do is that I can take this one, drag it here, okay, and as soon as I will drag it, it will be on the whole mesh. And just like what I did before, I can click here and then I can just click on this object, other objects, and those kind of things. Now one more thing over here I can do is that, let me go to my mask type and choose the mesh names. Now if I will click any one of them from my viewport, they will be excluded. Like suppose I don't want this, if I will click here, now this is excluded, you can see that. And if I click here, this one will be excluded as well. Other than that, what I can do here is if I undo, press Alt on my keyboard and click on maybe the one which is here, the middle one, Alt, click here. Now everything else is excluded. But what if I want this one to be included? So I can come over here in the mesh names, I can click here in the pillar top. So now what I can do is that if I want the pillar top also to be the part of the geometry mask, and I want this same wood material on the pillar top also, so I can go and click it here. So this will be also included in the mask. Or what I can do, one other way to do that is simply I will just click it here, or maybe some other parts just like that. So if I keep on clicking, it will be keep on including those. Now other way to do this is that, let me select all of them. If I press Control on my keyboard and drag my mouse here, you can see that there is a red box being made. This red box indicates whatever will be in the selection will be excluded. And now you can see whatever was there inside that red box is now excluded. And if I do the selection here, and you can see that I'm doing without Control and or Alt key or any other key, so it is blue. Blue means if I will select all of them, they will be included. So this is how you can also work inside the viewport as well. So let me do one thing here quickly. Let me just apply it here on the middle part and also on the top. And when I will go out here by clicking, you can see everything is applied. So this is how you can apply with the help of your mask by geometry options. And let me do one thing quickly here. Let me apply on all these materials. Let me take this one, apply it here, and then I will go back here, mesh names, okay, and this one is basically the stairward pillar. So I will just press Alt key, select this one, And also same material I want to apply here on the stairs as well. Okay, and maybe I want to apply it on these frames as well, and also maybe on this one as well. Now if I'll go out, you can see that it's been applied on these. And now what I can do here is that I can take some other one, maybe this one, I'll apply it here, and it's applying. And as soon as it's applied, you can go back here to your mask by geometry option, mesh name, and here I have, yep, this one. So Alt, click here, I want this one, and also I want this, so I will click here and I'll go back out. Now I will search for glass, or let's do this blades here, so maybe fabric I will put here somewhere. I'll go to fabric. Let's see any interesting fabric that I have. I want to put it there. So maybe this one, I will take it, apply it here. And as you know, it will apply on the whole thing. So next what you can do is that simple. I will go to my masking option. And soon I will go to the masking option. I'll get this. I will go to mesh names. And this is my blade over here, so which is basically here. So I will press Alt on my keyboard, click on the blades, and as soon I will click on the blades and go out of it by clicking here, you can see it is applied on the blade. Now one more thing you can do here is that suppose I want to paint here now. So if I will click on I will make a new layer, painting layer. I will take any brush from here and basic hard brush I will take. But if I will go and start painting, let me choose a color here. Let me choose something like a bluish color. And if I will go here and start painting here, you can see it is painting on the whole thing, which I actually don't want. I only want to paint the windows. So what I will do, I will just press Ctrl C here to undo, go to the mask by geometry option, meshes, and Alt and press the windows here. Now only the windows are activated. So if I'll go back here, start painting, so you can see that it is actually painting over the windows as well. Okay, it's only painting on the windows, not on any other objects. But what if you're painting here and then you realize, okay, maybe I want to include this part as well in my mask. So what you can do here is that you can go back here, and then if you will go add the wood frame, which is this part, and go back here, so you will notice that whatever I was painting is now also applied on the wood frame. So this means it is non-destructive. You don't have to paint again to get the result. So automatically it will be applied to it. But I really don't want this kind of effect, so I will go back here, uncheck the wood frames, and go back out. So I can paint this part, and then I can go here, paint this. We make it bigger so I can paint easily the whole thing. So it really up your game of texturing. Painting, it makes it more easy, more faster, so you don't have to make those complex masks anymore, and very easily you can do this whole process. And same thing you can do inside your other like views, like suppose, let me make this a little smaller so I can go to my uh, 3D view, and you can see that as I was working on the UDIMS, I have the UDIMS here. So same thing I can do here. Like suppose if I want to paint on uh, any one of these layers, I cannot do that. Let me change the color. But if I will paint here, it will paint because I have masked only this one as a white mask. You know, whatever is white will be painted, whatever is black it will be ignored. So consider this as a white mask, and any other layer I cannot paint it. So you can use also the 2D view to do the painting with the help of mask by geometry. Now let me go back to my 3D view. Other thing you can do that, like suppose I'm here on this layer, and as you know, the only thing that is included are the windows. Now what if I want to actually view the window only, not any other thing which is excluded? Right now I'm looking at the whole model, including those which are not inside this mask. If I click here, you can see that everything else which is excluded is also on the screen. So what if I only want to see the window? And on this layer, I know I'm only working on the window. So there is one option here on the top. You will see that it says hide, ignore, excluded geometry. So if I click here, so it will hide all those meshes which are not included in this mask by geometry option. So if I don't want that, I can unhide it. And simple, there is a shortcut on the keyboard, Alt H. If you press Alt H again to bring it back, so you can do with the keyboard shortcut as well. Now other thing you can do is that suppose you like what you did here. So if I want to apply something else here, like a different kind of materials I can apply, like suppose if I want to apply brass here, okay, and I will apply the brass, but I want the same mask which is on the walnut to be applied on the brass. So what I can do, I can simply go here, copy geometry mask, go here and paste into geometry mask, and it will be applied. If I go out, now you can see that simply applied. So whatever I don't want to include, I can go back here and then I can exclude those things. Like suppose I don't want these to be inside this new mask, so I can exclude those, go back here. So you will get something like this sort of result. So you can also copy very quickly the mask and paste it to the new material, like new materials that you're dragging and dropping over here. So this also makes your work a little faster. And same thing is like suppose if there are some effect, if you are applying any effect to your layers, like suppose if I go here, apply a levels effect here and change some kind of effects, and I want the same effect, I can copy and paste effect and apply anywhere else. Or what I can do now is that I can press Ctrl D also to duplicate this. Okay, so it will keep on doubling up my effect. Let me Control Z here. And what if I want to duplicate this one, but not for this layer, but for this layer? So I can press Alt on my keyboard, drag it here. So what it will do is that it will make a copy of it and drag it here. So this is something more handy you can do as well over here. Let me delete this one. I don't want that. And also you can, you know, move the effects as well. Like suppose if I have a levels effect here, for example, me make it, and I don't want this effect on this layer, I can switch and drag it to the other layer and it will be applied there as well. Now, as I said, before 2021 version, between 2001, like 2021 and 2020 version, there was a new release which introduced the UDIMS. So if I will go to the texture list, you can see all these UDIMS are here. Now, all these UDIMS, what I can do here is that I can rename them also. So that is basically, it will give me a more kind of a um, you can say like specific names which will become easier for me to work on. So I just have to double click it and then I have to type it here. But what if you don't know what it is, which UDIM I'm selecting? So basically you can go back here. Oh, sorry, you can go to the 3D 2D view or only 2D view. So you can see that what is what. This one is basically right now 13. So if I will go to this one, sorry, I think this is the one which is selected from here. So you can see that it's uh, you can clearly see it's the brass material, which is this one. So I can go back here, I can call this one brass frame now, so I know this is a brass frame. And then if you will see that 1003 is the blade cloth, so I can write here blades fabric, something like that. So this will also make it easier for me to know where is like what this like tiles are, and uh, what this island is basically called, and those kinds of things. Now, another very interesting feature over here in the new version of Substance Painter 2021 is the stitches. So let me open up like a project on which I was working. All these you can find in the description like below. You just click on it and you can download all these models so that you can also practice. So I will open this one. And here is the model where on which I was working before. And it's a normal shoe over here. And you can see all the materials are applied with the help of the geometry mask. Now, what if I want to have some stitches over here? So now you can you have in the 2021 version inside tools stitches. So we have different kind of stitches. We have stitches complex, which is you can see zigzag, straight combination of these. Then we have stitches which are cross seam stitches. You have a seam in between and there is a cross seam between. And then we have a simple straight, like stitches straight. So for this tutorial, I will use this one, stitches straight. And you can try these two also later on. So once I have selected this, and I have to first make a new painting layer on the top, and now I am able to draw this stitches over here. So first let's go to the brush option here. Let me draw here just to show you. Okay, this is quite big. Let me double click it here. Now it is selected. Now if I will draw on the screen, you can notice that it is drawing with a free hand the stitches, and you can see that I'm drawing with a free hand, so it is not that straight or clear. And if I will press Alt on my keyboard and sorry, right click, right drag, or right mouse button, drag left to right, so I can increase the size, and now it will make a bigger one. And now you can clearly see how they look like. So it is like a rolling brush which follows the direction of my mouse movement. So let's make it a little bit realistic here. Now, before doing further applying more like stitches here, let's go to the setting of the stitches. If I will go down, you will see that I have here at the bottom some attributes of the stitches. So there are quite interesting attributes here. There's a color. Maybe I can change the color. So you can see that it's now white. Oops. Okay, now stitch selection. So right now I have a number one running simple, just like this. If I will go to running to double, so now I can make two stitches on my model. Okay, and if I will go, I can have a running right. So this will only run on the right of my seam. I think white is quite strong here, so let me make it a little grayish. Yeah, that looks fine. And then there are a lot, so you can go with whatever you're looking for. The one that I want right now is the running simple, so I will just choose this one. And then do you want it to be thicker, thinner, twisted? You can choose anyone. Maybe I want it thinner. Intensity means like if I will go zoom in and draw, you can see how the intensity is right now. And if I will increase the intensity to 1 and start drawing, so you can see how stronger there are right now, the intensity of it. What is the intensity? Puncture intensity. Puncture means how it is puncturing your leather or whatever material you have. So this is the intensity of the puncture, the hole that it do, or like the stitch pressure that it's applied. So I don't want this to be too high, maybe 0.5. And then you have seam intensity. Right now seam intensity is quite high, it's 1, all the way 1. So you can see that. Let me move the light here so that you can see. Yeah, now you can see that how the seam is strong. Okay, so if I will reduce the seam all the way to 0 and then I draw, so you can see that there is no seam at all. There is a puncture but no seam at all. So it's totally up to you. If you want a very less seam, you can also do a less seam. It will be not that high. So you can play with these settings just to see. I will keep it as it is, maybe puncture a little bit higher. And you have advanced parameters. You can control more in detail the stitches as well here, and the technical parameters. Suppose I'm working on height, so I will keep on working on I will work on height. I will not go to the normal map. If you're working on normal map, keep it normal map, don't go on the height. So this is one thing which I prefer to do. You have ambient occlusion. If I'm right now with number like if I have 0.5 value, it will look like this. If I will increase it more, so it will look more intense, the shadow. You can see that the shadow is more. Let me move the light so you can see the difference between this and difference between this. Okay, so let me move the light here, and I don't want this to be too high. 0.5 is fine with me. And normal intensity, if I will reduce it, so you can see how it will look like as this. There is no normal intensity now, so I will keep it 0.5. So you can play with these settings and check how you will get the result. Now, number of ways to draw it, because it's all freehand, so you have to draw with your with the freehand. So one way I like to draw is with the shift key. So if I will press shift on my keyboard and start with here, click it just like this, keep on going, move my mouse. Oops. So I continue with this. So one way of doing is this with the help of the shift key. So keep in mind when you're making a new stitch, so it is between the two of the gap, like something here. So you have to make sure you just, oops. It's a gap of 2 stitches actually. Now this is one way of drawing this. You can go all over all the way back here with the shift key and make straight, but sometimes it's not ideal because you have to do a lot of work here. So let me undo this, and the method I prefer is with the lazy mouse, and you can get the lazy mouse from here. It's just like the one that you have in the ZBrush and the smooth option in the Photoshop. So if you will turn it off, so you will see there is a gray spot. This gray spot is the distance. So within this distance, it will start creating the your like drawing, whatever you are painting. So this will keep it smoother, your work. So if I will start from here, you can see that as soon it will reach to that the gray spot, it will start drawing it. So it will keep my drawing fairly smooth. If I want it more smooth, I can increase this, suppose a little bit more. So now you can see it will become more smoother. As soon I will reach here, you can see that it's becoming more smoother. So I'm just doing it fast, but you can take your time, and whatever suits you, you can draw with that. So it's a quite like I think a good tool that has been introduced, and you can do a lot with this, and you have a lot of like you can say unlimited options now with this stitching. We can do many things with this one. So I hope you all have liked this new features, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep supporting me, and I will keep on uploading new videos, new tutorials, and new courses, and so much is in the plan, is in the pipeline. And one good news for those who are now the owner of RTX 3000, the new NVIDIA. So the Substance Painter is now um, supporting the new NVIDIA 3000 series, the RTX 3000 series. So this will really up your game of texturing and painting. So guys, thanks once again. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon so you can get all the notifications, and keep watching my video, but watch them online so I can get enough watch time hours. This will really motivate me. So guys, take care until we meet for the next video.